The finger stroke is also a very important stroke and should be developed separately at first to be used later in concert with the arms and the wrist. Now, the finger stroke involves use of the middle finger, and when I do the finger stroke, I change my fulcrum so that I do have it up here between the first finger, the index finger, and the thumb. So I do have a little bit of a pivot point, and then I'm going to push with the middle finger on the stick. Now really what the middle finger does is it bounces the stick along on the head. If you remember, go back to our famous dribbling the stick. The middle finger will take the place of the index finger of the left hand here. So I'm using that same bouncing motion that I use with the index finger with the middle finger. Now, a good way to test that you're doing this and not actually just hitting it with the wrist is to hold your thumbnail with the index finger of the opposite hand. Watch. The first stroke is going to be a wrist stroke. But after that, I'm using my finger, okay? I'm removing these other fingers, my pinky and my ring finger from the stick, and I'm just pushing it with the middle finger through the fulcrum in here. And another approach to this is just to think of the stick bouncing like this, except you continue the bounce with the middle finger. But if you hold the thumbnail of your thumb with your index finger, you will be able to both see and feel if you're cheating and not using your finger. If I use the finger, first one's going to be wrist stroke, everything else is finger. You can see that this thumbnail does not move. Okay? If I was getting this and it's moving up and down, then you know that you're not using your finger to bounce the stick. This finger control is excellent in combination with other techniques. For example, we talked about the Muller system and using this whipping motion, and you can use your finger for the smaller notes in between the accents. Now, when you get into advanced playing, the quality of the instrument that you're playing is of prime importance to the character of sound that you make. This drum is a Pearl Philharmonic Series snare drum. It happens to be an aluminum shell model, and it's often used for concert applications, but also works very well on the drum set. And one of the things that's unique about this drum is the snare system. Most drums have many, maybe 20 or 30 wire coil snares, which are like the snares in the middle here. But this drum is unique because it has two different kinds of cable and the wire. Very early days of drumming, they used gut. Okay, and gut was very thick, very similar to cable, and it was used in an outdoor setting, and it really projected very well and was extremely articulate. Now later, we got the wire snares. And the wire snares, the advantage of the wire snares are that they give you a very smooth sound for your rolls, and they give you a higher frequency of snare sound, much higher, more delicate kind of a sound. Whereas the cable, which is instead of gut, we have like a coated cable, gives you a more throaty, darker sound. And there are even different kinds of cable. We have a coated cable here, plastic coated, and then we have what's called a bare steel cable over here, which is going to be less dark than the coated cable, but it's going to be considerably darker, though, than the wire. And the great thing about this drum is that when you play loud, you get this kind of clear articulation, this biting clarity that can project through, amplifiers and singers or a big orchestra. And then you have the middle range with the bare cable, which also gives you that articulation, yet gives you a full snare kind of a sound. And for the soft stuff, the rolls, you have the coiled snares, which gives you that really refined, smooth roll sound. You can adjust individually these snares with this unique throw-off system. The lever will disengage the whole mechanism so you can get your tom-tom sound. But then you can adjust each group of snares individually. So it's an extremely versatile drum with just beautiful preciseness in sound and clarity for projection of beautiful fine details. Using this drum, the details, the finesse of your playing won't get lost.